Good morning, my beloved students. How are you today? Our lesson is related to punctuation marks. It focuses mainly on two parts, and we will explore them together in more detail. And these parts are ellipses and dash. For the ellipses, you can see it's the form. This is its form, its shape. It shows something that's missing from a coded passage. Can also show a pause or an interruption in speech. So if there's something missing or you don't have it, you have a part of the code not full of it, or there is an interruption or stopping for certain speech. This you have to use ellipses. Also, a dash is the second punctuation marks, which shows a strong, sudden break in thought or speech. If you are speaking, but there is a strong and sudden break in your speech or thought, this you have to use dash for showing this stoppage. This is generally speaking, and we now need to go to speak specifically. Usage or use of an ellipsis. Number one, to show the reader that you have chosen to leave out a word or words from a coded passage, like that one. As the inscription on the Statue of Liberty says, "Give me your tired, your poor what? We do not have much words." There are some words missing here. And if you count the number of the dots here, the marks, we have one, two, three, four dots or four, because we have three natural and additional one. And number two, to indicate a pause or an interruption in speech. Like the scientist said, when I saw the telescope pictures, I couldn't speak. So we have how many dots we have here? One, two, three. We have three marks because this is in the sentence, not at the end of the sentence. Okay, this is a usage of an ellipsis. Using a dash, why we use a dash? To show the reader that there is a strong, sudden interruption in thought or speech. Like, I can't believe. Hey, look at the meteor. Oh, how gorgeous the night sky is. So, like, you show a sudden, strong interruption. You stop for some time to express the sudden thing that happened. Okay, the second usage in place in other words, if you want to say some words but in differently, like you have something paraphrasing, extension for speech, you want to use some more details to describe what you're speaking about, you can use the dash. Like the astronaut wanted one thing. What is one thing? What is that? We can say in other words, namely, or that is to explore space in his lifetime. So if you want to use less words, more punctuation marks, you can delete in other words, or namely, or that is, and use the dash. Third usage is to set off non-restrictive elements. Like what are non-restrictive elements? If you have modifiers or other elements that are not essential to the meaning of the sentence. If you add redundant speech, if you add redundant words not so essential, not so important for you, you can use a dash or two dashes between the beginning and the end of this sentence. Like this example, Albert Einstein, the physicist who developed the theory of relativity, became an American citizen in 1940. So the essential information, Albert Einstein became an American citizen in 1940. This is the single most important information. But if you add more information, but so not so important for you, like this one, the physicist who developed the theory of relativity, you can use the dashes in order to show the reader, tell the reader that we don't care about that. We only give this as an additional information, extra information. Okay, I actually have prepared four PowerPoint presentation for you, and I just want you to go to them and to like have an upper hand and full mastery over these PowerPoint presentations. I will start with this simple one. We have here the ellipses for begin from the first slice here. How do I punctuate a pause? How to show that I'm stopping or using a pause? We can use the ellipses or the dash or the comma. They actually differ in the accent or level of their pausing. Okay. All of them, the ellipses, the dash and the comma, they all show a pose. Okay, what's about the ellipses? The ellipses, it's a mark indicating a longer pose or intentional pose. An ellipsis consists of three periods or dots with a space before and after if it's being used within a sentence. An ellipsis used at the end of the sentence consists of four periods, three ellipsis points, and one period. Okay, so can you look at this example? When I was younger, how many ellipses, how many dots or periods here? One, two, three, because it's in the sentence, within the sentence. How old was I? About 10? I used to believe Santa. Also here, the second ellipsis, usage of ellipsis shows only three marks or points because this is within the sentence, okay? What does an ellipsis add to the text? An ellipsis can add suspense to a narrative or personality to the dialogue. So if you want to show suspense and like action like that, and you want the reader to think deeply about something, so you have to use ellipsis. When I was younger, how old was I? About 10? I used to believe in Santa. So in order to find out what the mark adds to the text, compare the sentence as it is with the mark to the sentence without the mark. So delete these marks and read them again. You will find no suspense. The second one, the second punctuation mark we have here is the dash. It's a mark used to show a sudden break in thought, like we don't know where or how the problem began. So we use the dashes here in order to have a sudden break in speech or thought. Okay, what does a dash add to the text? A dash adds a emphasis, like focus, clarification. It makes your idea crystal clear or extra sudden information. So if you want to emphasize something or if you want to clarify in an idea or to add more sudden information, we have to use the dash. We don't know where or how the problem began. The comma, it's a mark indicating a short, natural pause. Like my best friend, Mercedes is a great seamstress. So when you stop, you need to stop so short. What does a comma add to the text? A comma helps the reader understand what he's reading. Like commas alert the reader to a list, a conjunction, independent clause, or other reason to pause. Like this example we previously read. So these are the punctuation marks we spoke about today. We have the ellipses, the dash, and the comma. I have also a second a second PowerPoint presentation specially prepared for you. This one also we have the dash here. The dash we started with it. We give much information about it, right? Yes. We have the hyphen, ellipsis, parentheses, and the dashes. Okay. For the hyphen, it's used to join words that together form a compound adjective placed before a noun. Like this one, I have one 16-year-old student. So if somebody asks me why we don't say 16 years old, I will say to you that student is a noun, and before noun there is an adjective. So the word year here is considered an adjective. It's not adjective. It's working. It works as or acts as an adjective. That's why we don't add s to year. So we can never say 16 years old student. However, if we delete the noun, which is student in this case, it will be like that. I have one 16 years old, or this student is 16 year old. Okay, 16 years old. So if I drop the noun or I change the position, it will be 16 years old. Okay, number two, write out numbers from 21 to 99. So if you write any number or like classified or only restricted to 21 to until 99, you have to use a hyphen. Like 75 students tuned in an essay, etc. Number three, show a word break at the end of a line, like only break between syllable, like student, student, pillow, pillow. Okay. Ellipses, we studied it. Parentheses, use parentheses to set of extra information that is not essential. If you have extra information, not essential information, not necessary, you have to use a parentheses. Okay, like my dog's favorite toy, stuffed alligator, is lying out in the yard. You should generally avoid using parentheses in academic writing because academic writing has a radically different, genuinely different style. Dashes, a dash we spoke about it before. This is for the difference between the dashes and ellipses and the other punctuation marks. We have also more and more details about the usage of some punctuation marks. I just want you, all of you, to fully master and have an upper hand over them. We have here the periods. It's very simple, crystal clear. So we use it at the end of a sentence that makes a statement. The comma, we use it. We spoke about it. The colon, use a colon, and this is its mark before a list or an explanation that is preceded by a clause that can stand by itself. Think of the colon as a gate, inviting one to go on. Like there is only one thing left to do now. What is this thing? What is it? What is that? What is that? Tell me about that. Explain it. It's confess while you still have time. So if you want to leave somebody to go, or you have a gate and you want somebody to leave, so you can use colon. So a colon like a gate. Okay, you are waiting for more speech to clarify the speech before. Okay, we have the semicolon. Use a semicolon to help sort out a monster list. So if you have more than one person, one city, one country, you clarify them, you classify, you sort out them. You can use a semicolon like that. There were citizens from Bangor, Maine, Hartford, etc., Boston, etc. We had four professors on our committee: Peter, professor of mathematics, Ronald Rapin, professor of English, etc. Okay. Also to separate closely related independent clauses, like my grandmother seldom goes to bed this early. She's afraid she will miss out on something. Sometimes the semicolon, like and the periods, but very restrictedly. Sometimes they are used interchangeably or to give the like closer meaning, not to the same meaning, but closer meaning. Okay. These are the usage of the semicolons. So we today we spoke about a variety of punctuation marks, and actually the homeworks you always send on me to me on the school website. Actually very very gorgeous. You're doing a great job. I just want you to always keep it up and to follow the same track of success. I will leave all these PowerPoint presentation to you to study and to have a closer look at them. Don't forget your homework. You are great students. Actually, you're doing a great job. I'm very happy to teach you. This is our lesson for today. Thank you so much.